If your confidence is low, your life is on pause. No matter how smart you are, how talented, or how big your dreams, confidence is the switch that turns it all on. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever known you were capable of more, but still held back? You had the idea, you had the opportunity, but you didn't have the courage to act. That's not a skill problem. That's not a knowledge problem. That's a confidence problem. And here's the truth, most people don't want to hear. Confidence isn't a gift. It's not something you're born with. It's a habit, a series of small daily decisions that tell your mind, I can trust myself again. Confidence is what rebuilds the man after a setback. It's what makes the woman rise after being broken. It's what changes the story. Not someday, but today. In this program, I'm going to walk you through 6 confidence-building habits. Not theories, not wishes, but disciplines. Habits you can start this week, even today, that will rebuild your mindset, restore your energy, and reignite your life. These aren't motivational quotes to hang on your wall. They're action steps. And if you follow them, they'll do what hype can't. They'll change how you see yourself, and that will change everything else. So if you've lost your edge, if you've been doubting your worth, if you're tired of sitting on the sidelines while life moves on without you, then don't go anywhere, because the next few minutes might just be the turning point. Let's begin. Keep promises to yourself. Confidence begins in private. Let me tell you something that most folks never stop to think about. Confidence isn't built in front of a crowd. It's built in the quiet. It's not earned when the lights are on and the world is watching. No, confidence is earned in the early hours, in the small choices, when it's just you and you. That's where it begins. You see, the foundation of confidence is not talent. It's not charisma. It's not even knowledge. It's integrity. The kind of integrity where you do what you said you'd do, even when there's no applause. Let me give it to you straight. If you constantly break promises to yourself, don't be surprised when your confidence evaporates. Because deep down, your mind is watching. Your spirit is listening, and it remembers every time you said, I'll wake up early, I'll eat better, I'll start that project, and then you didn't. That's a confidence killer. Because here's the deal. When you break promises to others, you lose their trust. But when you break promises to yourself, you lose your own trust. And my friend, if you don't trust you, how can you ever expect the world to? Small promises, big power. Now, I'm not saying you need to overhaul your life overnight. That's not how confidence is built. It starts small, real small. Wake up when you said you would. Make the bed. Drink that water. Turn off the phone when you said you would. Finish the task, even if it's just reading 10 pages a day. Each small victory is like a deposit in your confidence account. And guess what? Confidence grows with interest, because when your mind sees you follow through, again and again, it says, okay, we're serious now. We can do hard things. And that's when the tide starts to turn. The private battle always comes first. Too many people want public rewards without private victories, but life doesn't work that way. You want the promotion. First, keep the promise to show up on time every day. You want the body. Keep the promise to skip the soda today. You want to speak with confidence. Keep the promise to write your thoughts down tonight. You can't fake this stuff. Confidence is felt, not faked. It's the quiet certainty that says, I know who I am, because I keep showing up for myself. Rebuild after breaking it. Now maybe you've broken 100 promises to yourself. That's okay, we've all been there. But here's the good news, you can start again, today, right now. You don't need perfection. You need a streak. One promise, one day, one win, then do it again tomorrow. And the next day. It's not about what the promise is, it's that you honor it. Every time you follow through, you reinforce your identity. I'm the kind of person who finishes. I'm the kind of person who shows up. I can trust me. That's how confidence is rebuilt. From the inside out, your action challenge. Let's make this practical. Right now, today, I want you to choose one small promise you can keep. Not 10, just one. Make it winnable. Make it visible. Make it non-negotiable. Maybe it's to walk 10 minutes. Maybe it's to read a chapter. Maybe it's to shut off your phone at 9 p.m. Write it down. Speak it out loud. And when the time comes, follow through. Then repeat tomorrow. And the next day. And soon enough, you'll look back and say, wow, I'm not who I used to be. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Speak with intention. Your words are seeds. Let's talk about something most people overlook. It's not your talent. It's not your resources. It's not even your time. It's your language. Because the words you speak, especially the ones you speak to yourself, they're not just sound. They're strategy. They're either building your confidence or breaking it down. The voice you hear most is your own. Let me give you the truth. You are the one voice you hear the most in life. Not your boss, not your spouse, not your friends. So let me ask you, what kind of words are you planting in your mind each day? Are they words of strength, words of belief, words of purpose, or are they filled with doubt, fear, shame, sarcasm? Because whatever you speak, your mind starts to accept as law. You say, I'm no good at this, and your brain says, copy that. You say, I can't figure it out, and your brain shuts the door. You say, I always mess up, and you just gave failure a reservation. Now I know what you're thinking. But Jim, I'm just being honest. No. You're being careless. And confidence is not the reward of careless people. Words are tools. Use them with skill. If you want to grow a tree of confidence, you need to plant better seeds. That means watching your language like a hawk. Don't say I'm terrible at this. Say I'm learning this. Don't say I'm always anxious. Say I'm building calm through action. Don't say nothing ever works for me. Say I'm figuring out what works, and I'm not done yet. Now I'm not talking about fake affirmations here. I'm not saying you should lie to yourself. I'm saying you need to lead yourself with your words. Because confidence isn't pretending everything is perfect. It's knowing that you're not done growing and speaking like it. Speak it until you believe it. You don't speak with intention because you feel confident. You speak with intention so that you become confident. It's a training process. You wouldn't expect to lift a heavy weight on day one. Same with words. At first you might feel silly saying, I can do this. I'm becoming stronger. I'm worth investing in. But let me tell you, it's not silly. It's sowing season. And if you'll just stay with it, one intentional word at a time, you'll reap a harvest of belief that no one can take from you. Remember, every strong person you admire once had to speak their way out of fear, doubt, and failure. You can too. Practical daily habit, train your tongue. Here's a challenge, one I've used, and I know it works. For the next 7 days, do this. Catch the negative. Become aware of every time you say something self-defeating. No shame, just catch it. Flip the script. Turn it around. Replace it with a growth statement. From I'm not good at this, to I'm still learning, and I'm improving every day. Speak aloud with purpose, twice a day. Morning and night, say 3 things you're proud of, and 3 things you're becoming. Example, I'm proud I got up on time. I'm proud I stayed calm today. I'm becoming a person who finishes what he starts. Speak it like it matters, because it does. Words create identity. Let me wrap this up with a truth you can write on your mirror. Your identity follows your language. You will become what you repeatedly say about yourself. So if you want to become confident, you must speak like a confident person, even before you feel it. Speak with discipline, speak with vision, speak with care, because your words are not just reflections of your confidence, they're the architects of it. Sharpen a skill. Mastery makes you stand tall. Let me tell you something that changed my life. Skill makes you strong. Skill makes you stand tall. And confidence is simply the echo of skill, proven over time. It's not enough to just feel good about yourself. That's surface level. Confidence, real confidence, is the deep, unshakable knowing that says, I've trained, I've worked, I'm ready. You see, you don't have to shout when you know what you're doing. You don't need to fake anything when you've earned the competence. That's what mastery gives you. Quiet power. Skill is the builder of confidence. Here's the truth. Every time you sharpen a skill, you're stacking bricks on the wall of confidence. And every time you avoid learning, avoid growing, avoid stretching, you're pulling bricks out of that same wall. Now don't get overwhelmed. I'm not saying you need to become world-class overnight. I'm saying pick one skill and get better at it. Consistently, confidence grows every time you say, I'm better at this today than I was yesterday. That's all. Progress, not perfection. Choose your arena. The skill doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to impress the neighbors, but it does have to matter to you. Maybe it's communication. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's managing your finances. Maybe it's discipline, leadership, listening. Pick an area that aligns with your future. Pick something that moves your life forward, and then go to work on it. Because every time you show up and sharpen that blade, you're not just building a skill, you're building belief. Repetition builds reputation, especially with yourself. Let me tell you something about repetition. It's not just how you build muscles, it's how you build certainty. The first time you try something, you feel like a fraud. The second time, a beginner. By the 20th time, you start saying, wait a minute, I can do this. By the 100th time, people start asking you for help. That's how confidence is built, by stacking reps. It's hard to feel weak when you've done the work. It's hard to feel like an imposter when you've earned your place. You walk into the room not hoping for approval, but carrying ability. And ability has a voice louder than doubt. Make practice a habit, not a hope. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for motivation. Build a routine that keeps sharpening your edge. No matter how you feel. Maybe 30 minutes a day. Maybe 1 hour on weekends. Maybe a course, a mentor, a project. But every day, ask, did I sharpen something today? Because the man or woman who sharpens daily, they walk taller, they speak clearer, they show up ready, not rattled. Identity through mastery. Here's the bonus benefit. Mastery doesn't just make you more skilled. It changes how you see yourself. You no longer say, I hope I can do this. You say, this is what I do. That's an identity shift. An identity is the engine of behavior. When you become a master at something, even one thing, you carry yourself differently everywhere. Because mastery in one area often spills over into others. Confidence multiplies. Courage increases. Your posture improves. You stop shrinking, and you start showing up. From skill to strength to significance. Let me leave you with this. A sharpened skill becomes a personal strength. A personal strength creates confidence. And confidence gives you the power to create value, serve others, and step into your purpose. So sharpen something, every day, with intention, with pride, because when you know you've got the tools, you don't have to wait for approval. You walk in confidence, because you've done the work. Guard the gates. Who and what you allow in shapes you. Confidence doesn't just depend on what you do, it also depends on what you let in, what you allow into your mind, into your ears, into your conversations. These things shape your inner world. Your mind is a garden. Your confidence is the fruit. But the soil, that's your environment. And if the soil is poisoned, don't expect anything strong to grow. This chapter is a warning, but also a strategy. If you want real, lasting confidence, you've got to learn how to guard the gates. The gates are always open, unless you close them. Let's start with a hard truth. Most people live with the gates wide open. No filters, no standards, no protection. They let any voice, any influence, any opinion walk right in and set up shop. And then they wonder why they feel weak, confused, distracted, discouraged. It's not a mystery, it's management. Poor gatekeeping leads to poor confidence. You've got to become the gatekeeper of your own life. No one else is going to do it for you. So ask yourself, what am I watching? Who am I listening to? What kinds of people have access to me? What am I tolerating that's draining my belief? Because every influence is planting something, and you're either growing weeds or growing worth. Association shapes identity, always. Let's talk about people. Who you spend time with matters. Because association is contagious. You spend enough time around pessimists, and you start doubting everything. You spend time with gossipers, and your focus begins to drift. You stay too long with small thinkers, and your confidence starts to shrink just to fit in. But you surround yourself with builders, people who dream big, speak truth, take responsibility. Your shoulders rise, your mind sharpens, your confidence strengthens. Every person in your life is either adding weight to your wings or tying bricks to your feet. You don't need to cut people off with cruelty, but you do need to edit access with wisdom. You get to decide who has a voice in your head, and that decision will either elevate you or erode you. Content consumption. What you feed grows. Now let's talk about what you consume with your eyes and ears. Podcasts, news, movies, music, scrolling. You may call it entertainment, but your brain doesn't know the difference. All it knows is that you're programming it. If you're watching chaos all day, don't expect calm at night. If you're consuming drama, don't expect clarity. If you're feeding your mind fear, don't expect confidence to blossom. This is not about living in a bubble. It's about building a standard. It's about asking, does this support who I'm becoming? Is this feeding my faith or feeding my fear? Start swapping trash input for training input. Read something that lifts. Listen to voices that build. Limit what steals your focus and steals your fire. Because confidence doesn't grow in clutter. It grows in clarity, and clarity comes from clean inputs. Boundaries are a form of belief. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You don't owe access to people who constantly drain you. You don't have to explain why you've stopped listening to things that break your spirit. Every time you set a boundary, you're telling yourself, I'm worth protecting. That message, repeated over time, builds something powerful. It builds inner respect, and inner respect is the fuel of unshakable confidence. Remember, what you allow, you endorse; what you tolerate, you attract; and what you protect, you strengthen. So start protecting your space with boldness, not guilt. Your action challenge: perform a confidence audit. Before the day ends, do a simple audit. Who drains your energy and needs distance? What media feeds your fear and needs less time? What boundary have you avoided and need to draw today? Then take action. Just one small change. Mute that account. Decline that conversation. Replace that noise with nourishment. You'll feel the shift immediately, because confidence responds to boundaries. Confidence doesn't just come from what you build, it comes from what you block. Guard the gates. Stand at the door, and become the protector of the person you're becoming. Move daily, because motion breeds emotion. Let's settle something right now. Confidence isn't just mental. It's not only about positive thinking, big goals, or powerful language. Those things matter. But they sit on top of something more primal: your body, your physiology, your movement, your posture, your breath, your energy. Because here's the truth: most people never realize your body is the first language your confidence speaks. And if you don't move it, you lose it. The fastest way to change your mind is to move your body. You want to shift your mindset. Don't just sit and think about it. Stand up, stretch, move, walk, train, breathe. The moment your body changes, so does your brain. It's biological, it's chemical, it's immediate. Movement increases blood flow, reduces stress, boosts your mood, sharpens focus. But more than that, it sends a message to your mind. We're alive, we're capable, we're in motion, and confidence loves that message. That's why people who move with purpose tend to speak with power. They don't drag their feet, they don't slouch, they don't hide. They show up, physically, and the rest follows. Stagnation is the silent killer. Let's look at the other side. What happens when you don't move? Your body stiffens, your thoughts slow down, your energy flatlines, your emotions sink. Now you're tired for no reason, anxious for no reason, overwhelmed before the day even begins. Why? Because you stayed stuck. You waited for motivation instead of generating momentum. And the worst part is, it becomes a pattern. Sitting becomes avoiding. Avoiding becomes doubting. Doubting becomes withdrawing from life. That's not a personality flaw. That's a movement problem. Small movements, big momentum. Let's get practical. You don't need a gym membership to get moving. You don't need an hour a day. You don't need the perfect routine. You need a decision and a daily motion habit. Walk for 10 minutes in the morning. Stretch for 5 minutes before work. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Do a few push-ups when your mind feels heavy. Your goal isn't to be a bodybuilder. It's to become someone who activates energy on command. Confidence starts showing up when you stop waiting to feel ready and start building physical rhythm into your life. Motion changes identity. Let me tell you something powerful. Every time you move, you're voting for the person you want to become. The one who shows up, the one who leads, the one who finishes. It's not about burning calories. It's about building character. You're wiring your brain to associate movement with progress. So instead of spiraling when things go wrong, you train yourself to act, to shift your state, to take control. From the inside out, that's what confidence really is. Control over your internal world, regardless of what's happening around you. And it starts with your feet. Your daily motion challenge. Let's lock it in with a daily challenge. From today forward, commit to 15 minutes of intentional movement each day. That's it. No performance goals. No perfection. Just movement. Make it sacred. Put it on your calendar. Protect it like your future depends on it. Because it does. You're not just moving your body. You're breaking patterns. You're waking up energy. You're telling your mind we're not stuck. We're in charge. Stack wins. Small victories lead to unshakable belief. Let me give you the truth in one sentence. Confidence is not built in a moment. It's built in momentum. Not from one big win. Not from one inspiring talk. But from stacking small victories every single day. You see, most people wait for the big break to believe in themselves. They say, once I hit the goal, then I'll feel confident. Wrong. Confidence doesn't come after success. It comes from proving to yourself, day by day, that you are someone who shows up, follows through, and finishes. Small wins build self-trust. Every time you complete a task, you earn trust. Every time you follow through, you prove something to yourself. That's where real belief comes from. Not fake affirmations, not hype, but evidence. When you have evidence of progress, you don't need to fake confidence. You feel it. You own it. You say, I might not be there yet, but I'm moving. I may not have it all figured out, but I finish what I start. That's power. That's identity. That's unshakable belief. It's the little things, done daily. Let me tell you a secret. Most people are waiting to do something impressive, but the people who impress the world are the ones who master the small things consistently. Make the bed, drink the water, send the email, finish the workout, write the page, show up on time, do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Because while most people are chasing the highlight reel, you're building internal strength. You're creating a stack of undeniable evidence. I'm a finisher. I'm dependable. I'm disciplined. And that stack, that's your confidence tower. Wins rewire your mind. Here's what most never realize. When you complete a task, no matter how small, you release proof chemicals in the brain. Dopamine, momentum, a sense of power. So you finish one task, and suddenly, you feel more capable. You do another. And now you've got rhythm. That rhythm becomes belief. That belief becomes identity. That identity becomes confidence in motion. It's not magic, it's management. You are managing your energy, your behavior, your brain. And the one who manages those things best walks into every room with presence. The 3 daily wins habit. Now let me give you something practical. Something you can do tonight. The 3 daily wins habit. Before you go to bed, write down 3 small wins from the day. Not big ones, small ones. I drank 8 glasses of water. I answered every message with kindness. I didn't hit snooze. I made the call I've been avoiding. 3 wins. That's it. Then wake up and do it again tomorrow. You're not building an ego. You're building a ledger of evidence. You're telling your subconscious, this is who I am. I don't flinch. I finish. When the stack builds, confidence explodes. Here's what happens after a few days. You start walking straighter. You speak more clearly. You stop second-guessing everything. Why? Because you're carrying proof. You don't hope you can do it. You know you've done it. Every day this week. That's the stuff confidence is made of. Not hype, not luck. Just compounded discipline. One action at a time. Confidence is the reward for consistency. Stack your wins and belief will rise to meet you. You've made it this far. You've seen what's possible. Now it's time to take all 6 habits and build them into a lifestyle. One that works quietly, powerfully, daily, until the world sees what you've already proven to yourself. Rebuild the person. Reclaim the life. Let's bring it all together. Confidence isn't something you're given. It's not something you stumble into. It's built, day by day, brick by brick, by the person you become. And you've just walked through 6 of the most powerful tools to do it. Keeping promises to yourself, speaking with intention, sharpening a skill, guarding your gates, moving daily, stacking wins. These aren't just habits, they're anchors. They hold you steady when life shakes. They remind you who you are when the world forgets. They whisper, you've done the work, you've earned the right to stand tall. The world doesn't change. You do. Don't wait for life to get easier. Don't wait for the timing to be perfect. Don't wait for the applause, the opportunity, or the guarantee. Wait too long, and life will pass you by. But start now, and life will start responding to you. Because the world reflects back who you are. And when you start showing up differently, it notices. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You say no to nonsense. Yes to growth, and I will to responsibility. That's not ego. That's earned. That's confidence rebuilt from the core. The process is the point. Don't expect to feel confident every day. That's not how this works. But every day, you can act like someone rebuilding confidence. And that's more than enough. Because action creates alignment. And alignment creates identity. You don't get what you want. You get what you repeat. So repeat what works. Protect your environment. Keep your word. Move your body. Speak powerfully. Build skill. Celebrate progress. Every time you do, you're becoming the version of you that your future needs. Reclaim the life. By rebuilding the person. The old you, maybe they procrastinated. Maybe they doubted. Maybe they didn't follow through. That version doesn't get to drive anymore.